Good evening. Welcome to another edition of Diatribes from the Voice of Doom. And now here's your host, the joyful Voice of Doom. All right, thanks. Thank you, Mr. Announcer. You're kind of toning down your rhetoric a bit. So I'm going to try to say some important life lessons, and I figure I'm just inebriated enough to articulate it correctly. And if not, well, it'll be another outtake. So I have very little of, by the way, I'm proud to say. Every single one of those videos have been straight through, and I've only effed up maybe once or twice. But I won't blow my own horn like other people on the radio and television that we talk about, we see. Let's get back to the basics of living as a bachelor with two kids who are bachelors and aren't really that concerned about what anybody's doing in the house, so you can kind of do what you want. Let's talk about bureaucracy, because bureaucracy can be your friend, believe me. And that means you can fill out a lot of things and probably get free money all over the place if you put your mind to it. But, go through the bureaucracy of my wife died. She has like 10 credit cards that are totally maxed out. And I have my name on nothing. And I plan on having my name on nothing. And I simply send them letters saying she passed away, and that's that. And, okay. A few other places, they want to know this or the estate. And, they talk about the estate like we're some Vanderbilts or, Rockefellers. Our estate, they might lay claim to some of our assets. The only assets we've had have been a thorn in our side. Try buying a timeshare in like 92. It'll be nothing but a burden. Call Social Security and say she died so you don't have to worry about all the paperwork. And I guess I'm expecting like a $200 death benefit like a mustache guy in the Monopoly, like death, bonus. Gee. She's like, oh, well, you can get her Social Security and still keep working and then build up your own Social Security. And I'm like, what? And then suddenly things are starting to change a bit, because it's like, wait a minute, you're going to give me like $950 a month and I can still work. It's like, yeah. And still build up my Social Security. Yeah. It's like, yeah, all right. I mean, yeah, I put down Social Security, but they come through in the clinch. Death is an amazing phenomena because things happen different when people are actually dead. Credit card companies don't bug you for payment. You just send a death certificate. I mean, that's a project. And it was a project getting other things because I didn't have my marriage certificate. It's not like we framed it. Oh my God, that would have been a joke. She probably tore it up like 2 years after we were married, just in a fit of frenzy. As if, that's going to like deter me. I've been through much worse than that. Tearing up a piece of paper is like, it's almost laughable. But a lot of paperwork you got to send away. That's when I realized that she died on the same day that we were married, because it was so convoluted. We got our marriage certificate at the Justice of the Peace in L.A., but we had actually gotten married in a ceremony a month earlier, which was like off the books. But we really don't care for convention. We only got the certificate because to make it legal. But she probably tore it up. I mean, she tore up almost everything. I still have a lot of wedding pictures, luckily. But yeah, she destroyed a lot. The money started happening because I was fortuitous enough to keep in touch with my mom because she was kind of concerned with how we were doing. And she's like, well, did you call Walmart and let them know? And I'm kind of like, well, she actually is still technically working there because she never quit and they never fired her and she never gave her notice. She just said she was on leave because she was sick. And my mom was like, well, maybe there's some insurance. So we call the Walmart and say she died and is there any insurance? And they said yes. And so they sent us some forms and Benjamin's like, if I fill out the forms, can I get like a third? I'm thinking, well, it'll probably be $2,500. So yeah, if he does all the legwork and does all the phone calls, then we'll just give him a third because I owe him $10,000 anyway. So as it turns out, and I was still working at the time and really thinking like, this $900, can I actually live on that with the kids helping with the rent and just quit my job? But then suddenly, somebody calls me on the phone and says, we can't put the money in your account because it's too high an amount. And that's a sentence that I never thought I'd ever hear uttered into my ear in my life, because life just doesn't work like that for me. I'm like, well, okay, I don't know. I don't know what it's all about. And it's like, well, it's from an insurance company. And so I called the insurance company, and it's like a lot of money. I mean, to me, a lot of money. $21,000 to me is a lot of money. And it's suddenly like, yeah, we can't get it into your account because you have some sort of a money tree account. And it's like, all right. So they send me a check for $21,000, and I owe Benjamin 1/3 of it, which I'm kind of starting to regret my impetuousness, because now but that's another matter. We're all going to be fine anyway. It doesn't matter. Point is, the money's gone. But that's the end of the story. I'll tell you how it went. $21,000 in the bank and $950 coming in from the government. And I'm thinking, I don't have to work right now. I can do what I want. I can get a keyboard. I can do gigs maybe around town. I can get a job here and there. And, I can work on my plays. I can compose. I can write my book, which this video series is turning out to be the book that I wanted to write. So I'm going to say I got that done because a book would have been useless. Nobody reads. $21,000 plus $950 a month. And I've been living paycheck to paycheck since 1976. So it's kind of nice, and I'm thinking I can do what I want. I can quit my job. I can get in the car and drive. And so I proceeded to do just that. I went up and I said, I'm going to be out of here in 2 weeks, or I'm going to be out of here April. It was 2021, April 23rd or something, right before my birthday. I said, that's going to be my last day because I got to take some time off. Now, April would have been December 12th, January, February, March, like 4 months after she died, and I felt like I owed myself through a lifetime of working and a lifetime of putting up with her, and the kids are all grown, and I got security for the time being, just quit and not have to go to work. That was the stupidest thing I did. Well, it wasn't stupid because it always ends up good, but it was not the paradise idyllic. I had visions of making sure that money stayed intact by doing some clever investing, like putting it, in so it could grow, either with the Dow Jones Industrial or with whatever other penny stocks or anything. You can always make money grow that way if you're positioned correctly. So I pictured it like I can keep that money intact and still live and do things. So I proceed to quit my job, and then I proceed to do nothing. I mean, accomplish nothing, sit around and do nothing. I'm going to write today. No, I don't write. Well, I practice the piano, but I'm not playing anywhere. I buy the piano, I buy the keyboard. I can go to gigs, but there's no gigs. I'm not really trying to get gigs. I'm not even playing at old folks' homes like I wanted to do, or like charity. I'm just doing nothing. And I'm just paying the bills as they come in because I got all this money in the account. And I got to give Benjamin a third of it, so I got to think about that too. So it's not, you know, I don't know what the tax things are, but I figure by February of 2022, the tax people won't be intact. I'm not going to worry about that. But a lot of money, wasted my time, quit my job, didn't get anything done, didn't accomplish a damn thing. And then I got to the point where I was lethargic and I was, you know, laying flat on my back, really doing nothing and doing the dishes. I see why my wife was into doing the dishes all the time because that's what I was doing, cleaning up the house and doing the dishes. And it got to be where I got down to the dregs of no money because that didn't take long because there's one way to invest in the market, and that's to do it the easy way and drive down to the casino. Because then you get your money fast or you lose your money fast. You don't have to worry about any paperwork. And that was a bust. And then just as things are looking bleak, I started looking for a job, and I'm looking for jobs at basic places. And I just happens that Benjamin had auditioned for some show in a town that's south of Carson, and he got the gig, and he's playing in this show. So I went down there one Friday to see his show, and the restaurant I used to work in was right across the street. So I go in there, I say, "Oh, my kid's in the show." They give me a drink because it's all, "Oh, hi, I haven't seen you in years." And then the next day they call me and say, "You know, we would, they asked if I would want a job because they need a bartender, because they need somebody who can deliver drinks because most of the kids there are underage that are servers." I'm like, "Yeah," because I was kind of trying to get some pretty mundane job as a waiter in a casino somewhere. And so I go down there, and the job's great. The job is much better than I could ever hope for. The story behind that whole thing is very strange because everything worked out for the best. But the point is that's when I came up with the idea of diatribes, and I know it's just some stupid, mundane thing, but it's everything I wanted to do. Because I'm getting my book in, because I've done much more with these videos than I could say in a book. It's much funnier, too, because you can see my face and how charismatic I am and how I'll probably take the world by storm eventually. But it'll probably be when, Burgess Meredith is sitting on a pile of books. Old reference. You'd have to be older. But I will be a icon one day in a post-apocalyptic nightmare. But yeah, I kind of got 2021 through fast because, yeah, I got the money, I blew it. I discovered that I got the idea for diatribes and I'm really into it, and I'm doing everything I want to do when I get the job, and I realize I have to be under pressure. I cannot just have money in the bank and enjoy life and drive to, Placerville, or drive to wherever, Tahoe, and spend the day. I didn't even do any of that stuff when I had the money. So why think that being at ease is going to make life better? It doesn't. But life is great when you're under pressure, when you got to get stuff done because you got to get this done and then this is going to happen. That's when it's exciting. Yeah, I thought 2021 would go on forever, but I'm kind of getting to the end of where I am now. We're great. We're happy. There's plenty of food. We're ready for the end. We're ready for if it doesn't end. and I can blast my music as best I can with this 21st century technology. I think my kid taught me how to hook up my big screen TV to the computer so I can actually listen to music loud, because these kids like soft Beyonce or whatever the hell they listen. But that's it. That's beautiful. I'm really happy. I want to stay here a while. I mean, for myself. The rest of the world's, yeah, it's over. But I'll be fine. Kids will be fine. And that's the end of 2021. It's going to go on to some ranting and raving and raging and some real draconian stuff soon, because I got to get angry. Because things are getting worse and I got to solve everything. But it was fun. I'm glad I could wrap this up. I hope it was enlightening. I hope that my mom's watching, because I think this will be more interesting to her than anybody else. 16 minutes. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks.